This is your second trip in the UFC in less than a year, into Brazil actually, in less than a year. Were you excited when the UFC asked you to come to Brazil again to fight here?
I mean, I wasn't so much excited about going to Brazil, but I was excited about the fight against Shogun. You know, I didn't even know where it was at for like a good 2 weeks after I had said I would take the fight. My manager called me, oh, it's 198 in Brazil, because he had just got injured, so he didn't know when he was coming back. So I was pretty excited about the fight, and then shortly after, I got excited about the fact going back to Brazil, you know.
Shogun has been bouncing between good performance and some frustrating losses in the UFC recently. Which Shogun do you expect to face on Saturday?
I mean, I think even the Shogun has been going up and down in his losses and wins. I think it's always been the same Shogun. It's just the opponents he fights. It's just bad matchups, you know. The new breed. The guys he lost are all the new breed. It's a new kind of technique. He's still used to the original Shogun, doing what he originally did when he first got here, what got him the belt back then. And now everybody else is so adapted and changed the sport. I think he might come out with a little bit of new technique. I know he's been working with Pat Cummins and Verdum, and you see Verdum is saying pretty upbeat with his style. So I think he's going to come out trying some of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. You started fighting in 2012. He was already a former UFC and Pride champion. Did you ever imagine when you started fighting that one day you would be fighting here, fighting Shogun, especially here in the Stockton Stadium in Brazil?
I never thought it would be Shogun, but I knew at some point I would be fighting a former champion or a Hall of Famer or a legend in the sport.
I saw a picture on your Instagram and a video of you training at Universidade da Luta here in Curitiba, and that's a team that Shogun started years ago here in Curitiba. How did you end up there?
A buddy of mine back home, Marlon Morales, had been in contact with the coach there, and that coach had messaged me when I got out here and asked if I wanted to use the gym, you know, instead of using the workout room. So he came and picked us up and we went.
I saw in your picture that Paulo Tuba, that used to be one of Shogun's sparrings when he was the UFC champion, was also training with you there. Did you give did him give you any tips of Shogun's game, anything that you didn't know already?
No, not really. He didn't even say much because he doesn't speak Portuguese, and me and my coach, we don't speak, or he don't speak English, and me and my coach don't speak Portuguese. He just picked us up, showed us the cage, opened the door, and we just trained. And after he took us back, you know, he sat at his desk and worked with his classes or whatever. So it's kind of like we was on our own in the octagon.
Was it weird in some way that you're going to Shogun's team to prepare to fight him Saturday?
Well, at first I didn't know it was his until yesterday. One of my coaches was telling me that. I mean, it's not so much weird. I mean, it happens. It's a sport. You know, I've been up and trained with Ryan Bader. I've been to a lot of gyms where other 205ers are at that I'm going to have to fight at some point, possibly. I mean, it happens. It's part of the sport. You can't limit yourself from places to place just because of relationships and past relationships.
I read that Ben Askren is one of the responsible for you coming to start fighting MMA. How did he convince you to get into the sport?
He really didn't convince me. He tricked me. He was helping me train for the Olympics and for wrestling. And instead of going to the normal gym we usually go to, he gave me the address to a gym which is Rufus Sports. And when I got there, he was like, I can't let you pass up an opportunity I think you can be good at. You should just give it a try, and if you don't like it, we'll go back to wrestling. And the next day I came up and gave it a try, and I never wrestled again. I just started coaching wrestling and fighting, so this is what I do.
Do you still train with him, have any contact with him?
I talk to him every once in a while, but he's all the way back in Wisconsin. I'm in New Jersey now. So we're on two different sides of the state or the country.
Is this sometimes sad for you as a friend of him to see him fighting outside of the UFC, him being one of the best welterweights in the world, and not having an opportunity to prove and test himself against some of the best in the UFC?
No, because he's happy. As long as he's happy, I'm happy. That's all that matters. I don't care. It doesn't matter what I feel or what I want. All I want is my friends' true happiness. My boys is happy and my friends is satisfied and happy with what they're doing. I'm more happy for you. I support it, and that's it. That's all there is to it.
Do you consider him the number one in the welterweight division in the world?
I mean, you can't call him number one until he fight the other ones, but I think he's one of the top. He's right there in the top 5 as one of the top best in the world. But I can't give him the best label until he fight those and see how the opportunity goes.
Thank you, my good luck Saturday.